guys, it's Alex, and today I'm on the way at my lunch break to Power by the Hour to deliver something to Donnie. Over the week, he shoved this car on the dyno. Now, reminding you guys, Donnie is the guy who has gone 930s with a VMP TVS on an automatic Mustang 2014 with a 2015 engine. We had never gotten it on the dyno. We'd always street tuned it, track tuned it, whatever, and he was just curious what it made on the dyno. Well, he went ahead and put it on the dyno, and it made 815 rear wheel horsepower. Here's the video. I'm such a nice guy, I went ahead and got him a 800 horsepower license plate frame that we have over at VMP. Now this is meant for guys that make 800 flywheel horsepower, but he's making it to the rear wheel, so he should really have like a 900 plus horsepower Mustang frame, but we don't have them, so I guess we're gonna have to start making them for people like Donnie, because I'm such a nice guy. In case you haven't noticed, I'm driving a different car. It's got Recaro seats, and I'm gonna tell you a little bit about this car. Now, this is a guy who's local to me, has a Paxton 2200, has a 2015 engine, Boss intake manifold, ID1000s, return style fuel system made by Cy Lee, manual, long tubes, the whole 9 yards, and this car is just finicky. It's acting up. He says on E85 it starts throwing a lot of misfire codes. So I said, well, let's start from the beginning. Let's change the spark plugs. And after he changed the spark plugs, it still threw misfire codes. I'm like, did you test the E85 where you're at? He's like, no, but it's good stuff. I'm like, okay, no problem. So he even went ahead and changed the coils. Now, the only other thing I suspect is happening with this car is the injectors. You wouldn't think so because they're a quality injector, but shit happens. You never know if you get some gunk in the lines, whatever. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drive it for a little bit, see if I can get it to misfire. If I can't get it to misfire, I'm gonna go ahead and replace one bank one injectors, just change them all and see if the trims come back, and I'll show you why I would do that. One thing that is nice about this car is how it sounds. It has a torque booster, so you hear the blow-off valve. It's like you're dragging cardboard a little bit, but it actually sounds pretty good. That's pretty neat, you know, can't hate on it. When you go wide open throttle and let off, it does sound really neat. Has a, like I said, a torque booster setup, which means he's pulleyed for more boost, but he's wastegating a certain amount, so it hits hard now. Let me downshift it, get it to flutter a little bit. Alright, that's enough of that. What are you working on, Donnie? I'm gonna film you, fuck you. Make you all awkward. Here. What you working on? A Fox body? Since when do you guys work on Fox bodies? Man. Alright, so let's take a closer look at this 2014 Mustang with a Paxton 2200. It's got GT500 wheels, front and back, authentic shit, not the American Muscle versions, real deal, from what I can tell. Recaro seats, comfortable, very nice. Take a look into the hood, blam. Performance package car, Brembo brakes. Okay, so here it is. Let me put the, let me put all the shit up. He put all the stickers on this thing. Okay, so so here it is. This is the Paxton 2200. I don't know shit about these, but I know a couple of things. He does have a torque booster setup in it. So what that is it's pulleyed for more boost, but it only sees a certain amount because it's wastegated. The rest of it is wastegated. So I just like tripping over shit. So it's all wastegated. So basically, let's say, for instance, what's a torque booster setup? Let's say you're pulleyed for 10 psi. Well, you're gonna get 10 psi, but if you're pulleyed for 15 psi but you wastegate 5, you're going to send 10 psi a lot quicker. That's basically the theory behind a torque booster setup, and this is what it is. Oh, let's hear it at idle. Let's have a listen. You definitely can hear it when you're over here. It has a Siley fuel system, one of the budget fuel system out there. It uses 2 GT500 pumps, regulator. You know, it's good for about 800 or so rear wheel horsepower. I wouldn't really ring it out any higher than that. On E85 on pump gas or some kind of race fuel like 104, it can do really well. But yeah, let's take it for a spin, get our thoughts, see why it's acting a little weird, see if we can diagnose what's going on and fix it. So a lot of you guys been watching my channel. What's the first thing you do if you want to diagnose a problem? You data log the fucker. On these X4s you can definitely see what's going on in real time. So I'm gonna look at the short trims like always, suspecting that long trims are turned off in whoever's tuning this car. So let's see what the short trim bank 1 and bank 2 are doing. Ew, that's nasty looking. Oh wow, it's bouncing all over the place. See, that's the other thing about the Paxton and Novi, Paxton, ProCharger, and Vortec kits. The map signal tends to be a little on the dirtier side, so the trims go up and down in different areas. So short trim fuel trim bank 2 on the right is 10.80, 10.80. Bank 1 is 0.78, 0.82, 0.78, 0.82. So I'm starting to think, obviously, bank 1 is having an issue. Bank 1 is the passenger side. Short term fuel trim bank 2, at least it goes to stoic 1.0 and it bounces back and forth from it, probably because it has a bit of a dirtier map signal. So we're gonna see what's going on with bank 1. He has already replaced the coils, he has already replaced the spark plugs. So what's left? Injectors. So what I'm gonna do is this. He has a set of ID 1000s in there. My car got a set of D-Torque 95s. So I'm gonna swap the D-Torque 95s that I know are working properly in this car and see if the short trims come back. Okay, because my hands were busy, I went ahead and removed his injectors, which were on the bank 1. So bank 1 is driver's side. These are his ID 1000s. Obviously they're older because they have the purple hats. I don't know if it's just the O-ring lube or what, but it ain't the prettiest looking, but it might just be the O-ring lube, or it could just be gunked up and hanging out. Remember guys, how can you tell their IDs? Look at the bottom, because it still has a Bosch body. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my bank 1 injectors out. They're D-Torque 95s. They tune similar to ID 1000. So I'm just looking for a, see if there's a major difference in fueling once I replace them. Okay, took all of about 3 minutes to take my D-Torques off and look at the bottom of this D-Torque. Dun dun dun, zoom in bitch, come on baby. I ain't got time to waste. Can't be wasting these guys' time with shit. There it is. And again, a Bosch body with a different spacer. If this guy was put next to this and you'd look at it from the top down, and if it had a purple hat, matter of fact, if I swap these hats over, you wouldn't be able to tell looking down what it is. But looking at the tip, one's an ID, one's a D-Torque. So let's put the D-Torque on bank 1 of the other car, see if the trims come back. Okay, definitely wasn't the injectors, and look at how hot it is in here in Florida. It is muggy, but I'd rather be doing this than shoveling snow ever. Man, it is nasty. But all I did was change injectors, about 10 minutes of work and fucking sweating balls. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get some more E85 in this car because I suspect it had a bunch of pump gas in the deal, so that's why the trims are still fucked up. But it wasn't the injectors, so hey, that's how you vet things. You do things one by one. But the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna loosen up these Vikings because they're way too tight. Okay, so he has, I want to see what he has it set to, because it's fun. So if you see here the knobs, okay, right is to tighten, left is to loosen. So the rebound, let me see how tight he had it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 11. And the compression, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3. 3 compression, 11 rebound. Let's look at the passenger side. Rebound. 1, 2. Oh, the other way. 1, 2. Let's start again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Compression. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3. Jeez. Little aggressive for driving around on the street on street tires. Okay, so we switched injectors. Didn't do a damn thing. We supposedly have new spark plugs in the car, and we have new coils in the car. The only thing is, it could be a shitload of pump gas still mixed into the E85. I think there was 2 gallons left of pump gas in there, and it's running on the rich side because it's being tuned for E85. So what am I going to do? I ran the tank down to about a half the tank. We're going to put some new E85 in there, fill it up, see if the trims start to come back. Let's give this thing a start. Put my seatbelt on because you guys get all fucking pissy about that shit. Yep, starts good. Let's go. So let's give it a go, because it makes all the right sounds, really. Nothing too crazy. It does make all the right sounds. This Paxton 2200 with the torque booster and the big blow-off valve does sound pretty good. So I'll give you guys my driving impressions right off the bat with a centrifugal powered car. So it's in 6th gear right now, 80 or so. And when you tip into it, I am used to a TVS car. Obviously the TVS makes way more power, but when you give it gas, it's to the floor. His car does nothing. Not a bad thing. You just downshift to 4th or 5th and you're good to go. But one thing I do like about the TVS is that it pulls really nice at low RPMs. If you're gonna pass somebody with a TVS car, just give it more gas and it goes. But one thing this supercharger does better than the TVS, in my opinion, is RPM. This sucker at 6,000-7,000 keeps pulling. I'm saying it really starts to haul ass 6,000 RPM and up. But driving around the city, it's a little lacking in torque, but it's not necessarily a problem. It's kind of a byproduct of the centrifugal blower, so you got to keep that in mind. Okay, got some fresh E85 in her, about 7 gallons worth. Hopefully the trims start to come back and that'll maybe clear up the trims, see what's going on. Okay, go for a spin, see if the trims come back, because he literally replaced everything. Coils, spark plugs, and I just double checked the injectors, and bank 1 wasn't acting any different with a good set of injectors, so we'll see if this does the trick. Let's go for a drive. Looks like the trims are starting to get a little better, so maybe it was just a bad batch of E85, who knows. But they're a lot closer than they were a little bit ago, so that seems to be our issue. The car does not have any misfire codes. I've been driving it for a long time. I'd say we're done here. Let's get you some wide open throttle pulls and make some bald eagles fly, as Cletus would say. If thing loses traction easy, I gotta be careful. Woo! It straight gets it. It's a lot of fucking fun, especially high in the RPM range. Man, that'll work. Well, there you go. After a little bit of diagnosing, determined that it might have just had a lot of pump gas mixed in, because, you know, when you switch from tunes back and forth, it's a real good idea to make sure you get as low as possible on pump gas and vice versa when you're switching tunes. The car seems to be running real good. The tune's working. Not messing around, so just give the guy the car back with the loosened Vikings so it doesn't bounce around all over the place. But yeah, guys, make sure you drain it as much as possible between switching fuels, because it could cause a misfire code, or it could just act the trims to act funky for whatever reason. But I think honestly what fixed the car was the coils being switched and the spark plugs being switched, and the car seems to be happy. So that was that. That's a way of vetting things and kind of going one by one to make sure you take care of the issue instead of throwing a whole bunch of money at it and thinking it's always the tune. Sometimes it's not the tune. Sometimes it's just the hard parts that are the issue. Thanks for listening, guys. Talk to you later.